Episode 40, baby! Woo! I can't believe it. I love even numbers, especially ones that end in a 0. Let's get this show on the road. What's going on, everybody? Smells Like Wrasslin, episode 40. What a fantastic journey this has been. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Dynamite in the books, but not just any episode of Dynamite, the go-home show to Full Gear. We already got chat popping off. The product is reaching WWE levels, in my opinion. It's definitely hit like a lukewarm kind of spot. You know what I mean? Like, they're not on the up and up. It's really not like terrible bad. It's just nothing's really going on. I feel like a lot of things are just treading water right now. You know, like what's going on with the women's belt? That's treading water right now because they didn't expect Thunder Rosa to be out. Now they have an interim champion. They didn't strip her of the belt. So, like, is Thunder Rosa going to have a title reign when she comes back? Is she just going to beat Toni Storm? Is Toni Storm going to win? Like, there are a lot of variables that are going on right now, you know, and, you know, I'm pretty sure Punk, wherever the hell this guy is, the Elite, getting suspended, Adam Cole being injured, Bryan Danielson being injured, Eddie Kingston being suspended, Andrade, fucking who knows where Andrade is right now. Like, a lot of shit has gone on with AEW's roster, and that has to be having some effect on the storytelling, which is gonna affect the interest of the product. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I feel like the product feels different than what it did a year ago. I don't know. I mean, an argument could be said it's for the better or for the worse. I mean, the good things that I'm seeing right now is we're seeing guys that weren't really getting a lot of television time, getting TV time, like Ethan Page, like Ricky Starks. You know, a lot of it was being taken by the bigger names, and for good reason, because those bigger names are bigger draws, and you want to have ratings, you want to make advertisers happy, you got to, you know, put your big names out there. So I get that, you know? As long as the big names were in worthwhile storylines, I'm all for it. But then a lot of their big names just were gone. You know, I mean, the big story from last year was Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole, All Out. Remember, that was the big thing. Now you go a year later and they're all gone except for Danielson. And Danielson was gone for a big chunk of time with injury. So it's like, a lot of the big time acquisitions that they probably were planning like long-term stories with, all that shit went straight down the drain, you know? Not to mention, I mean, I can't even use COVID as an excuse anymore because we've been out of that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, it feels like a long time since Daly's Place. Before, it felt like a long time since we had crowds. Now it feels like a long time since Daly's Place. Like a lot has gone on with the company since COVID. But I mean, the Elite coming back, to me, that's a good thing. You get more big names, big faces that are great wrestlers that you could possibly put in really good storylines on television. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? Aside from that, like they got Saraya, which is supposed to bolster up the women's division. A lot of pressure on those two to deliver at Full Gear because they're supposed to be it. They're supposed to be representation of AEW's women's division in comparison to any other women's division that's out there. So they have a lot to prove. They need to put on the fucking match of their lives. It has to be a 5-star match. I don't care what anybody says. You talk the amount of game that these two women have been talking about their place in wrestling history, you have to put on a 5-star match now. Like, that's the expectation that you've set up. And I don't know if Britt is a 5-star match wrestler, and I don't know if Saraya could even pull that off. I don't know. And I guess the whole 5-star thing is subjective. Like, I guess, in my opinion, I think that they have to put on a banger of a match for me to be like, that was one of the greatest women's matches I've ever seen. Because I feel like if you put in promos saying, I built this division, I started a revolution, I'm the face, I'm the this is my house. Like, it's not about, at this point, like, yeah, it's about, like, who's the best. But, I mean, in the grander scheme of things, you two are a representation of an entire division. And technically an entire subsect of wrestling, which is all of women's wrestling right now. It's not just going to be male eyes that are going to be looking on you. It's going to be the eyes of the women in the division in your own company and in other companies. Because this is supposed to be standard setting. You know what I mean? Like, if we're all going to talk about, like, wars and competitions and stuff like that, yeah, in the eyes of competition, you want to make sure that your women's division is the best women's division. And how do you do that? By putting on excellent stories and excellent matches within that division. Like, there's nothing wowing me about the WWE women's division. They push a lot of people that they shouldn't. Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville. You know what I mean? Like, Mandy Rose has had the NXT women's belt, like, for the last, like, year or so. You know what I mean? Like, Sasha's gone. I never really was that enthusiastic about Naomi, so, like, her gone is whatever. I kind of miss Charlotte. I'm partial to Charlotte. I know she gets a lot of beef, but I kind of like her. I thought Becky Lynch, when she was, like, in that Stone Cold Becky mode, right before they made this stupid, ridiculous bullshit storyline surrounding that title match. Remember, Becky had the title shot. Then she didn't have the title shot. Then she had the shot again. Then she didn't have it. Then it's going to be a one-on-one. Now it's going to be like a triple threat. It was like they were trying to figure out a way to put Charlotte in the match, and like, she didn't need to be in the match. You know what I mean? Like, even though I like Charlotte, like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know if she was pushing for it or not. But, like, why was she interjecting herself into that match? It should have just been Becky versus Ronda. That was the match that everyone wanted. But, whatever. But it's like, you're going to give me a Sasha versus Bayley at Brooklyn match? I mean, I wanted Sasha to win that match, even though I knew it was Bayley's time. It just annoyed me the entire match that it was going to be Bayley's time. And I'm not really that much a Bayley fan. But that match, in terms of a wrestling match, I don't care men or women, in terms of a wrestling match, that match was pretty damn good. But in terms of this match this Saturday, you women better fucking bring it. You women better motherfucking bring it. Nothing really, like, exciting really happened in the WWE side of things. I watched a little bit of Raw. It was all right. I watched a little bit of SmackDown. It was all right. Like, they're just doing stuff. So, yeah. I mean, you're not really going to hear much by way of WWE from me. Except the whole Actually, wait, didn't they get the belts off of? No, they didn't get the belts off of Austin Theory this week. They did it last week. So I think what happened here is what, like, they rehabilitated his character. I don't even know. Like, I didn't really bother watching the end of Raw. So people were saying, like, oh, you know, like, Austin Theory's back. I'm like, what the fuck could they have done to make me think that Austin Theory is back after bungling that 24/7 title? I'm not 24/7 title. The Money in the Bank contract last week. Like, what are you gonna do that's really gonna help me? Like, I don't know. But I'll check it out on YouTube, or I got it on DVR. But let's get into tonight's Dynamite, which I actually thought was pretty solid. The matches are pretty great. They had a tag team match. It was Claudio and Danielson versus Jericho and Guevara. They had in a music video by The Acclaim, which I thought actually was pretty good. They had Top Flight and AR Fox versus Death Triangle for the trios titles, which was a great match. Tony Storm versus Anna JAS. I can't stand the name. I cannot stand the name Anna JAS. I think it's just so fucking slapstick lame. But the match, it wasn't terrible. Bandito versus Ethan Page, which was awesome. Anthony Bowens versus Swerve Strickland, which was great. They had a promo with Samoa Joe, which was great. Promos from Jon Moxley and MJF, and hearing more from Britt Baker and Saraya. So it was definitely a jam-packed show. They had a lot to get into. They wanted to, you know, push full gear. So tonight was the night to do it outside of Rampage, but they know that Dynamite's the big drawing show, so pull out all your big guns then. The night started with the Claudio and Danielson match against Jericho and Guevara, which showed Claudio and Danielson victorious. They had Claudio tap out Jericho. I think was it in a Boston Crab or something like that. Or I don't know. I have to recheck my notes, but it's very rare that you see Jericho tap out. So, like, I thought that was pretty interesting. It's very rare that you see Jericho take a loss. So I'm very curious as to what that's going to mean for this four-way this coming weekend. I mean, it is a good way for Jericho to kind of cheat to win and keep the title against stiff competition. I mean, that's basically been his gimmick since he got the ROH belt, which was he's not an honorable person. He has his number 2, which is Sammy Guevara in there. I mean, Sammy's a little bit of a weasel himself, so he might try and steal one from Jericho. He might help out Jericho. Who knows? But that, you know, that's going to be pretty interesting. You have teammates Danielson and Claudio, both former Ring of Honor world champions. Claudio most recently, and Danielson in the past, in the history of ROH, he's been a champion. So that's a very interesting dynamic as well. So having them in a four-way was pretty good. You rarely get to see Claudio actually do more. It was a sharpshooter doom. Thank you. It's very rare that you get to see Claudio do actually like more than like 10 or 15 spins. But he did that with Jericho. I thought that was pretty awesome. I mean, Jericho like lost a lot of weight, but he's still a pretty big guy. So to do it as many times as he did, it would have been easier if he did that to like, you know, Guevara. Guevara's a cruiserweight, but I mean, definitely pretty cool. Match was great. Once Castagnoli hit the swing, he locked Jericho into the sharpshooter, got the submission. Excellent opener to the show. Great showcase for all 4 men going into this fatal 4-way. I'm not sure how this is going to end because like Ring of Honor booking is all over the place. I think it's pretty hard to kind of predict sometimes. So I have no idea. My gut tells me Jericho walks away with the belt. It'd be cool if Danielson won it. It'd be funny if Guevara won it because he'd be, not gonna lie, he's a great heel. Him having the belt would just add even more heat to his character. You know, he's got the whole gimmick with his wife, Ty Mello. That adds more heat. An argument could be said Sammy doesn't need any more heat, and he especially doesn't need ROH title heat. It could go to Danielson, which nobody would hate because everyone wants Bryan Danielson to have some sort of title belt and defend the belt in all these different kinds of ways. So that would be cool. I don't think they're going to give it to Claudio. I mean, he had it. Now he just lost it. Now he's going to have it again. A little too ping-pongy for me. for a world title belt. So, you know, it to me, it's either going to go to Danielson. It's not going to go to Claudio. The three more viable options are Jericho, Guevara, and Danielson. More so Jericho and Danielson, and Guevara is more of like a wild card choice if they really want to throw viewers for a loop. They showed a black and white video of Darby Allin in a body bag. He's picked up by Sting. They put him in the backseat of a car. He gets up out of the body bag. He sits up, and Sting says, at full gear, it'll be showtime. I love it when he says showtime. I'm such a Sting mark. It's fun. He's the whole reason why I watched WCW, you know, during the Attitude Era, aside from the fact that I technically couldn't watch WWE at that time. But, like, every single week I tuned in to see this motherfucker come from the rooftops and beat the shit out of Hogan. It was awesome. It just pissed me off how Starrcade, I think it was Starrcade 97, the way that match ended was bullshit. I mean, that whole quick count thing, it just ruined the moment. They should have just had fucking Sting win, but Hogan's an asshole. That should be a fun match. It's going to be Sting and Darby versus Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. I mean, listen, I'm not all for the whole Jeff Jarrett coming back thing, but I mean, I enjoy Darby and Sting tag team matches. I enjoy that entire gimmick. I think all the matches that they have are pretty fun. I love Sting, so when he, like, no-sell stuff and fucking beats his chest and does the Stinger Splash and the Scorpion Death Drop and all the shit, I love it. So those matches are fun to me. That's a match where I could kind of just check out. I'm not looking to see, like, a fantastic wrestling match. I just want to see a good, fun party match. And I feel, though, the matches with Sting and Darby balance, like, party and professional wrestling. So me personally, I'm a big fan of it. I get that there are some people out there that, I should do you know what? I might do that. I might do a review of Starrcade 97, and I might do that with my buddy John. That's a definite possibility. But yeah. So, I don't know, like, it's just gonna be a fun match, and I get that people, like, don't like it, you know, that's fine, like, I could understand that argument, you know, you want to see Darby do other things, maybe you think Sting's too old and he shouldn't have television time, like, there is another side to that coin, but I don't know, man, I just enjoy him. I fucking love Sting, and I love Darby, yeah, well, anywho, so, the Acclaimed premiered their music video, mocking Swerve. It was actually kind of funny because they had Paul White revise his character from The Waterboy as Captain Insano. So, like, the beginning of the music video was, like, Paul White as Captain Insano being interviewed by the Acclaimed about how fucking hokey the Swerve and Our Glory are. So I thought that was actually pretty funny. This was actually a pretty solid match between Swerve and Anthony Bowens. I feel like the whole point of the match was to, like, really, like, sell the fact that, like, you know, like, Bowens' arm is injured, you know, that it's been a reoccurring theme for Bowens in feuds where people talk about how he's been injured a lot. It is true. The guy has had a rough spell in terms of the abuse that's been done on his body, and he's been out for quite some time. It's why it's been a while since I've seen the Acclaimed so frequently on TV. But it looks like they're gonna work the shoulder at this match. I still think the Acclaimed are gonna win. They've already been building up the Acclaimed versus FTR. I assume that's gonna happen either at Winter is Coming, which I hope not. I would rather that match be a pay-per-view match, so I'm hoping it happens at Revolution. But Revolution, like, really is a long time away, so, like, I don't know if they're comfortable giving the Acclaim that long of a title reign. Do I think they could get away with it? Sure. I mean, they're a great act. They're over and shit like that. So, and, you know, FTR is still over. I don't care what, a lot of people like, oh, FTR is cooled off. Like, who the fuck are, like, what the fuck have you been watching? Like, if you're following AEW, you might think that. If you're following FTR, no fucking way. They've been putting on awesome matches all over the place in the UK, in Japan. So if you're fans of FTR, then I feel like you'd be following FTR matches. And if you're following FTR matches, you would know they're over everywhere that they go, and they're putting on banger matches everywhere. FTR is having a Hall of Fame fucking year. A Hall of Fame fucking year. And it's a shame that too many people are blinded at the fact that, oh, they're just not on television on Dynamite all the time, and they're not holding on to every belt. Dude, they have like almost every belt in existence right now. Like and they're wrestling dream matches. Like Tony's letting them go out there and do awesome shit. So, I think that it would build up an amazing match between them and the Bucks this year for all the belts, and FTR wins it and puts this argument to bed that the Bucks are ducking them and don't want them as over champions. The Bucks have done enough. The Bucks have already had like multiple title reigns. So like, why would they be upset about FTR getting one now? Like, the Bucks have done it all already. You know what I mean? The Bucks have been wrestling longer than FTR has. So if it builds up to a match between them and FTR, FTR should 100% win, and that should be them like almost passing the torches. And then like FTR passes it off to like another tag team who ends up like deserving the right to take the belts off of FTR. One that's like earned it in the eyes of the fans. You know what I mean? Anywho, I was expecting this match to be a cage match, but it looks like they're going to do that for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I can't tell you how not interested I am in Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus, because they've just been drawing this feud out for forever, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't expected that Christian was going to be injured. So now they have to draw this out because they can't pull the trigger on Jungle Boy until it seems like Tony is dead set on Jungle Boy versus Christian. And whatever trigger they're waiting to pull on Jungle Boy, it's just been holding until Christian gets better. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem with AEW right now. Like, it seems to me like a lot of storylines are just treading water because just all the pieces aren't in play yet. You know, like there was a timeline where I wouldn't feel this frustrated, but the timeline's been screwed up so many times between injuries, suspensions, and whatever the fuck bullshit goes on with this company on any given week. That's why these storylines are like this. So it's like, I can't wait until like they have the people that they need to just get back to business. You know what I mean? God damn. Anywho, I thought it was a great match. Anthony Bowens is a fantastic wrestler. Swerve is a fantastic wrestler. I thought it was interesting that both of them are on TV at the same time, especially since they had that crazy match. I forgot what it was called, but it was in Lucha Underground, where literally like they took a chunk off of AR Fox's back from some sort of from like barbed wire and shit. Like that was a crazy Lucha Underground match. But a great match. They did a video package on Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose. I think it's fucking stupid that in the graphic that Nyla Rose is holding the TBS title. She's not the TBS champ. She took it, and apparently nobody in the company could ask her to give it back. Tony couldn't be like, give it back or you're fired. You know, Jade couldn't literally hunt her down and wait for her at work every week because they work for the same goddamn company and could have gotten this back. I think this is the stupidest storyline ever. I can't wait until it's over. I can't wait until Chris Statlander comes back and whoops that ass and becomes the champ. She's a Long Island girl. She's awesome. And I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of this bullshit. You know what I mean? I just want Jade to fight someone more interesting than Nyla Rose and a storyline more interesting than them fucking running around with each other's belts. It's just stupid. It's just dumb as shit. Samoa Joe came out. Samoa Joe's the fucking man. All right. If you guys remember, in NXT, there was this legendary feud that Samoa Joe had with Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, those two had multiple matches and they beat the piss out of each other. And one of the better parts of that feud was Samoa Joe and William Regal, because Regal was the GM of NXT at the time. And Samoa Joe would just come out every week and beat the crap out of somebody random until Regal made the match between Nakamura and Samoa Joe. And the reason Regal was holding off is because Samoa Joe attacked Nakamura and laid him out. So they played this angle that Nakamura was injured. So Samoa Joe was pushing for Nakamura to either fight or be stripped of the belt if he can't defend it, and so he could be the champ. So Samoa Joe was just beating the shit out of people every week. Now, you have to remember, back in the day in NXT, they filmed multiple episodes in a day. So this same crowd just saw multiple times in a day Samoa Joe come out and just mug somebody. All right? So every single time, Samoa Joe would beat somebody up, and and interrupt a match, he would just come out and call Regal out. So he would be like, William Regal! And it just got to the point where the crowd just expected it. So, like, the next time he came out, he was like, Regal! Bring me Nakamura or give me my title. And then the finally, I think it had to have been like 3 times he did this. So on the third week of Samoa Joe doing this, Samoa Joe just comes out and goes, Regal! Even the crowd, there was somebody in the crowd who was dying laughing. That whole storyline was so awesome because Samoa Joe was fucking relentless. He was relentless. Samoa Joe having a belt and just being relentless Samoa Joe is beautiful, beautiful television. And I'm very excited about this triple threat because it's fucking big, meaty men slapping meat. Finally, 3 big hosses built. All their storylines, like, they have been established tough guys. Wardlow's been beating the shit out of everybody. Samoa Joe's been beating the shit out of everybody. Powerhouse Hobbs has been beating the shit out of everybody. This is a well-built match for a title. It's going to be awesome. I don't care who wins. It's going to be fucking great. 3 giant fucking big mountains of a man all beating the shit out of each other. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I can't fucking wait. I cannot fucking wait. It's my dream. Like, I tell you guys this every week that, like, big hoss matches are just so cool when they're done right. And, like, this is it. They finally did one right. They finally built up 3, and I say this, how many times a week do I say this, guys? Contenders make great champions. They built up 2 great contenders for Wardlow. They have another champion, and Powerhouse Hobbs, who's been on the hot streak. I can't wait. I can't wait. I need Full Gear, guys. I need Full Gear because, like, my wrestling heart has just been broken. You know what I mean? Like, it's like eating, it's like you could have the same favorite meal. Like, let's say your favorite meal is fucking like triple Whopper with cheese and bacon, no onions, with fries and a Coke and a Hershey's Sundae pie. Right? And you could eat that every day. But then just sometimes it's just not fucking doing it. And you're eating that burger and you're just like, ugh, it doesn't feel as satisfying anymore. Not even with a big fat J, I'm not feeling satisfying anymore. That's how I've been feeling with professional wrestling lately. It's like, I'm watching WWE and they're doing this and they're going up. And then I'm seeing AEW, in my opinion, and they're going like this and they're going down. And it's like right now, they're like 2 ships passing in the night. What I would like is... That's what I would like. I'd like it so that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, all awesome wrestling. Why would I not want a whole bunch of wrestling? A whole bunch of wrestling is great. It might even give me the chutzpah I need to finally make that second... SmackDown and Rampage show. Every single time it comes up to it on Friday night, I'm like, oh, maybe this is the time I'll just drop it as a surprise. I'm just like, you know? I got like a day job. I got to stay fresh as a daisy for. They got Britt Baker backstage, and like right now, I guess is the time where like they don't want it. I feel like they're trying to book them both as faces. And they don't want, I'm like, it's very easy for Britt to be booed, being that, like, they've been doing all this crazy shit with Saraya lately, and, like, Britt's traditionally been a heel. And, like, Saraya's, like, putting over Britt, even though they've been throwing barbs at one another. So, like, it looks like they're just trying to make it, like, a face versus face feud, get the crowd cheering for both women. I mean, that's really what you want, you know what I mean? You want all halves of the crowd to be interested in no matter what woman is going over at that point. So we'll see. Britt says she's the heart and soul and pulse of AEW. She said that she was a leader. She said that she was wrestling in Daly's place during the pandemic and, how the roster came together during that time to perform for the fans and blah, blah, blah. Because a lot of Britt's awesome matches were done during that pandemic era. You know what I mean? And they were still, like, enjoyed by the AEW fan base. So, I mean, even in those matches, like, Britt was, like, doing stuff for the company. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's a lot of pressure. I think it's a lot to live up to. And I would like it to meet the expectations. But I don't know. I don't know if their reach has exceeded their grasp on this one. We're going to find out on Saturday. Death Triangle fights Top Flight, the returning Darius Martin. Thank God he's back, man. Top Flight is a great tag team. They would be a great tag team to fight against the Acclaimed. A great tag team. So, like, now that the Acclaimed might actually have like a longer title reign, like, you want to feed them guys like Top Flight, showcase them, make it seem like they're a tag team that could potentially be someone who could be a title contender in the future. So I'm excited for that. And AR Fox, this was an awesome match. If you love lucha, you like the high flying stuff, you like the gymnastics, you like the flipping, this was a great match. This is actually a great match. AR Fox was doing moonsaults from the inside to the floor, senton atomicos, all this crazy shit. It was a great match. Pac lands the Black Arrow for the win. Pac said at the end of the match, they grabbed the mic, they were cutting a promo. Pac said that Death Triangle aren't stupid. They've seen the video, and they said if certain individuals want to come into Full Gear and beat Death Triangle, that's ridiculous. He said Death Triangle hides from no one. All of a sudden, a ticking clock appears on the screen, and there's a graphic with Death Triangle and there's a blank part, and it gets filled in, and there's the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Bucks. And it looks like it's going to be Death Triangle versus the Elite for the trios titles at Full Gear. That's going to be fucking awesome. All right? It's going to be great. That Newark crowd is going to be hot because it's going to be filled up with the majority of New Yorkers, and that's a hot New York crowd. I will not be at that show because it's just too much. It's a long trip to fucking Newark from where I am, and that's and Tony's shows are like 18 hours long. I barely could do it. In real time. So I'm actually going to be watching that match after the fact because I'm going to be working that night. This is actually one of the rare times I'm not going to be watching the pay-per-view live. So I am going to be working on that day, and I will be trying to catch it later that evening. So, but I mean, I'm going to give you guys my results on Wednesday anyways. So you'll just have to wait until then. I'm going to have to mute all of my wrestling chats for like a couple of hours. They had Ricky Starks backstage, talks about Lance Archer jumping him last week, and their match is going to happen on Rampage this Friday because Ricky Starks wasn't cleared to wrestle. Oh yeah, absolutely, Con. It's gonna be as good, if not better, than Elite versus United Empire. Elite versus United Empire was an awesome match. Elite versus the Hangman and Dark Order was an awesome match. Like, they're three of the best wrestlers in the world going against other teams of three great wrestlers in the world. Like, the trios division in AEW is so fucking stacked, and it looks like fucking, it looks like House of Black is coming back. Oh, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. The matches that the Elite are going to have in the trios division are going to be so fucking dope. I can't even believe it. So they had Ethan Page fight Bandito. Ethan Page wins to advance in the title tournament. I am hoping, I mean, am I really going to get Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks at Full Gear? That match is going to be awesome. All right? That match is going to be awesome. Because it's going to be great regardless who wins. Ethan Page is fantastic, and Ricky Starks is fantastic. And if we're all correct and MJF is going to walk out of Full Gear as the champ, then either of these two guys fighting MJF at Winter is Coming is going to be an awesome match. So I am down for this. If it means that they're going to do a come-from-behind story with Ricky Starks after getting attacked by a larger opponent and then having to beat said larger opponent to get to Ethan Page, great story. Ethan Page dominating the entire tournament and sending a message to MJF and going in with a hot streak, that's a solid build to a guy who you want fighting for a title. So I'm all for that. So, great match. Love Bandito and the shit that he's doing in the ring. Guy is hella strong and hella athletic. So I'm all fucking for Bandito. They did a video package highlighting the feud between Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus. I just don't care, man. I just don't care about it. I mean, is it going to be, it's probably going to be a semi-decent good cage match. I mean, they might have Jungle Boy do some crazy shit. Luchasaurus is going to take some big bumps, but it's like, I don't care. I don't care. I think Jungle Boy is kind of a boring character, and Luchasaurus was never my cup of tea to begin with. I liked it when they were Jurassic Express and they had Marco Stunt running around, and it was just, they were a fun, happy-go-lucky trios team. But after a while, like, the gimmick of Marco Stunt kind of like, kind of just ran its course. And then Luchasaurus, I mean, like, he's a guy dressed as a dinosaur. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, I just want some more. I have, like, limits to my when it comes to wrestling. I'm already feeling like the strain of Orange Cassidy and the pocket shit in the middle of awesome matches. That Shibata match should have been great. I was so upset at how that turned out. I'm hoping the Danielson Shibata match actually, like, cleanses the palate whenever that happens to occur. Renee Paquette is backstage with Saraya. Saraya's saying she never thought she'd be in this spot. She's sick and tired of the back and forth. She said she wanted to be in AEW because that's where the best is, and Britt is the best. So, like, she doesn't want to talk. She wants to fight. I'll see you at Full Gear. Okay, cool. Short and sweet and to the point. Enough talking. Time to fight. Yeah, it is enough. It's enough talking. It is time to fight. They had a video package on Eddie Kingston and Ortiz versus Konosuke Takeshita and Jun Akiyama. It's great to see. Takeshita back. Phenomenal athlete and wrestler. Was really on a fucking hot streak of amazing matches before he went back to Japan. So definitely should be a great match with him and Akiyama. I don't know what's going on with Eddie. Like, Eddie's been in kind of like the mid and the lower card, like, vortex ever since the stuff that happened with Sammy. So it's like, I don't know if he's like, if he asks just like, hey, listen, I just want to stay out of the spotlight for a bit. Just put me in, like, whatever matches on Dark Elevation, blah, blah, blah. Maybe this is punishment. Maybe there's no spots for him creatively. But, like, Eddie Kingston is too good of a character and too good of a wrestler to, like, not have on your television every week. So I'm assuming that there's a really fucking good reason that Eddie Kingston's not on my TV all the time. But I love Eddie Kingston. It should be an awesome tag match. Definitely looking forward to it. They had a match. There was a title eliminator match. Anna JAS versus Toni Storm, which Toni Storm won. I mean, it was, I don't know. I didn't see anything that I really hated. I was kind of like half paying attention in the match anyways, because I already knew that Toni Storm was going to win. There's no way they're going to have Anna J win a title shot. I'm not calling her Anna JAS. I think that's a stupid fucking name. Just like Nikki ASH is a stupid fucking name. The only name that should have initials in it is LA Knight. Yeah! But it was an okay match. I like Toni Storm. I wish she was the actual women's champion and not the interim women's champ. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Thunder Rosa. I don't know when she's coming back. We haven't heard shit. All we know is that, people talk crap, and that's the only time we hear about her is when people talk crap about her. All I want to hear is, like, listen, I just want her to come back. That's it. I don't need to know anything else about her life except for when she's coming back. So yeah, that was a match, and it happened. At the end of the match, Jamie Hayter came out and gotten Toni Storm's face. Do I think it's going to be a good match? Absolutely. I expect it to be a better match than the Britt Baker and Saraya match. I expect it to be a better match than Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill. I expect that to be the women's match of the night because Jamie Hayter is phenomenal, and so is fucking Toni Storm. And the crowd wants Jamie Hayter to win, and Toni Storm is a great face, and a lot of people want her to win, and I think she's been doing a good job as champion. She's been playing the cards she's been dealt as best as she can, and that's as good of a compliment as I could think of for her particular title reign. And I expect her to have a fantastic match with Jamie Hayter. The crowd should be hyped for that. People have been wanting to see Jamie Hayter win the title for a while. I don't think it's her time. I think this is a little bit of a test run. It would be interesting if Jamie Hayter eventually beat Thunder Rosa for the belt. I think maybe it would be interesting if it came down to a triple threat match between Toni Storm, Thunder Rosa, and Jamie Hayter. And Jamie Hayter ended up walking out as the new women's champion. Your Thunder Rosa's there to make stars. She's not there to be a champion. She was a champion. She defended it. All that good stuff. I think that her job is now to put over talent like Jamie Hayter. and have them have a moment in the spotlight and put a little gold in their ledger and build them up as future title contenders for the company. I think it's haters. I think that would be totally okay if that ended up happening. Jon Moxley and MJF have a face-off. I got some issues with this shit. I got some issues with this shit because I just don't see MJF as a babyface. And I keep on thinking that, like, it's going to swerve. Either he's in cahoots with Stokely or he's in cahoots with Regal. But, like, I fully expect him to do something devilishly heelish to take the belt off of Jon Moxley. And yeah, I just don't buy this babyface shit. I don't think he should be a babyface champion. I don't care what anybody says. MJF should not be a babyface champion. Listen, guys, he's gonna get fucking cheered anyway. Even if he's not a babyface, he's still gonna get fucking cheered. Roman Reigns is a heel. He gets cheered all the time. Same thing with MJF. You could keep him as a heel and make sense for his character. And if people like him and people want to cheer, great. Their job is to build up someone who they want to cheer for more than MJF when eventually he drops the title. And the only person that I could think of that they could do that for, and I don't see this happening for a while. I don't see it happening until like maybe 2025. Because I'm pretty sure MJF's going to hold on to the belt for like a year. So like end of 2024 into 2025, Darby Allin's going to be the new AEW champion. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. But MJF should not be a babyface. He should be a fucking heel. I think that they've been making a point that Regal comes out with Moxley all the time. So Regal is definitely going to play a part in what's going on. I don't know. I just don't buy this whole babyface MJF. So that's what I have to say about that. They had a promo. Moxley was like saying whatever. Moxley was saying all the stuff that he normally says. He's the champ. He's the best. He likes violence. Blah blah blah. Same typical Jon Moxley promo. They have Stokely Hathaway come out. The Firm attacks them. MJF comes out. He clears the ring. He gets in Moxley's face, says he's going to beat him, blah, blah, blah. Moxley goes, I'm going to draw the courage out of you. Blah, blah, blah. The end. So, that's it. MJF versus Mox for the title this Saturday at fucking Full Gear. And that was the go-home show. They did a solid job. It's a solid card. This actually got me looking forward to the pay-per-view, to be quite honest. Like, it hasn't been on my radar until this very evening. But now seeing the matches that are going to take shape, I like the pay-per-view format anyways. I hate commercial breaks. I love the fact that pay-per-view matches are built with no commercial breaks. Like, they know that you're watching it from beginning to end. I like the way those matches are structured. Commercial break matches, they really piss me the fuck off. That's why I miss NXT at Full Sail when there was pretty much no commercial breaks. You know what I mean? They wish have like stuff for the WWE network, but it wasn't like a full entire commercial break. It was just like one advertisement or two that lasted like maybe 30 seconds, and then it was back to the action. It's just, I hate commercials, man. I fucking hate them. But definitely, yes, Doom, I agree. I say it was a W Go Home show. It got me interested in the pay-per-view. That's the whole point of the Go Home show, to build interest in it, and it built interest with me. So I say it was successful. I'm excited for the pay-per-view, and we're going to see what happens. I think it should shape up to be a great show. Rampage this week is going to be Eddie Kingston and Ortiz versus Jun Akiyama and Konosuke Takeshita. Ricky Starks versus Lance Archer. Hook defends his FTW title against Lee Moriarty, and Athena takes on Madison Rayne. In terms of Full Gear, let's break down the card as follows. Let me see if I have that here. Let's see. All right, so here's the updated lineup for Full Gear as it stands. For the AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley, the champion, is going to be defending against MJF, who's cashing in his Casino Battle Royal token. ROH World Championship is on the line. The champion, Chris Jericho, defends against Bryan Danielson, Sammy Guevara, and Claudio Castagnoli in a fatal four-way match for the belt. The interim AEW Women's World Championship is on the line. Champion Toni Storm defends against Jamie Hayter. The AEW World Tag Team Championship is on the line. We have the Acclaim, which consists of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. The champions are defending against Swerve in Our Glory, which is Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. In the rubber match of their trilogy, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland won in the first match that they had. I believe that was at, what was that, at All Out? Was that at All Out? That was at All Out. Then they lost to, the Acclaimed won at Grand Slam. So now this is the third match in their trilogy. Both teams have won one apiece. We'll see how that goes. It should be a great match. AEW Trios Championship is on the line. Death Triangle, which consists of Pac, Penta, El Cero Miedo, and Rey Fenix, against the Elite, which consists of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Steel Cage Grudge match between Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. The TBS title is on the line. Jade Cargill fights against Nyla Rose. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal against Sting and Darby Allin. Saraya versus Britt Baker. And the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament Finals, which we do not know who that's consisting of yet. My prediction is still Ricky Starks versus All Ego Ethan Page, so we'll see how that goes. And that's it for tonight's show, people. Another episode of Dynamite in the books. 40 episodes of Smells Like Wrestling in the books. I'd like to thank those of you who have been watching since the beginning. Thank you for coming on this journey. I appreciate it. Doom, you're pretty much a mainstay here in the chat. I appreciate it. Also, got to give props to Doom. I'm going to be making YouTube shorts for me, one of which is going to be posted pretty soon. Did some excellent graphic work on there, so thank you, Doom. We'll be seeing a lot of their work in the future. Thank you, Khan, for being in the chat today. Appreciate you, buddy. And yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next week.
Bye.